Okay, I'm trying something new. This is my hat vlog. So I've recently posted a video on color theory and my color wheel. And I showed a bunch of color combinations of Shetland wool. And now I'm actually making one of these hats. And I'm recording this during Shetland Wool Week. So I thought it was nice, or it would be nice if I made an actual DeCrofter's cap this week. I only made the real pattern one time because I like to do variations, and so I made several variations. I think there were 3. I'll link them in the show notes. And I decided to do this one. So this one, oh, I did something stupid here that I just realized. I didn't do that purple here. That's okay. I can go back and fix that. It's just annoying. I did knit the stitches. Okay, well, that's just me. Yeah, so this is my combination of, that's Jamieson and Smith Jumper Weight Supreme in 2008. And then I've got, these are all jumper weight. This is FC 47 mix, the blue. This is 125 copper. This is FC 12 mix. So there's also a brown. And so I think I'm going to use, I'm trying to decide on my color scheme here. I think I'm going to use the brown. I am going to use it. It's in the bag and over there. This is my Shetland bag over there. Oh, there's some sweaters that need to be folded. Yeah, there's the Vintage Shetland project. This is all my stuff that's like laid out on my bed right now. So tape measure, that's from Neighborhood Fiber Co. I love it. I work on this periodically. This is what I've been working on this week. I'm trying to finish the sea glass tee. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, don't look at the magic knots. Oh no, those are the magic knots. Don't look at that side. Sorry. This is my sea glass tee. Those are just the increases. Yeah, I'm trying to finish this so that I just can put away all those scraps. Because if you look down there, oh my gosh, those are all the scraps that I'm using for this t-shirt. And it's crazy. Got some water. Very sharp scissors. Hopefully I remember to take these out of my bed. There's been times when I haven't remembered that. And I've never gotten stabbed in my sleep, but I've come close. Always gotta have a stitch marker around. These are needle protectors for these specific size 2 ChiaoGus. I'm wrapped in a Snuggie right now because it's cold. There's some point protectors on these too. Oh, that's a pen stain. I literally just like left a pen cap off on a red pen on my bed once, and that was embarrassing. Sock ruler. I was working on I was measuring some socks earlier. Every night before I go to bed, I try to work on DK socks for an hour. So that's coming up. Yeah, I would show you my sweatshirt, but it's covered in sourdough. I'm also getting really into baking. This is a sticker on my computer of sheep wearing sweaters. That's getting really faded because it's been on there for a few years. I'm watching a Claire Saffitz video where she is making gourmet starbursts. If you've never seen Claire Saffitz, you should watch her YouTube videos if you like baking. She's a really good chef, and she when I started watching her, I was like, I mean, I liked baking, but I really like the rapport, and it's like I realized this is what I'm trying to be on my channel. I'm trying to be Claire Saffitz. She's so funny. She's just so funny. I wish I had an editor to like put in the really random things I say, like in random places, and to edit my videos so that I'm not just like ranting all the time. But anyway, I'm currently working on the corrugated rib section of this hat. This corrugated ribbing in the round is not so bad, but it can be a little daunting at first and can go slow. I really get into a rhythm after a couple of rounds. Like I did the blue, was kind of annoying, and then the green went fast. And I was like, wow, is this already over? And now I'm on the second round of the purple. And then I'm going to do the reddish orange, and then I'm not going to do the brown in this. I'm just going to do 8 rounds of corrugated rib, and then I'm going to do an increase round, and then I'm going to start the color work. And again, this is DeCrofter's Cap by Wilma Malcolmson for Shetland Wool Week 2021. Yep, I will update you with some more progress as I continue. All right, welcome to installment 2 of Tiny Desk Knitting Knits DeCrofter's Cap vlogs. So I finished the corrugated ribbing. There are actually supposed to be 10 rows of this, and I didn't even think about it, and I could have done all 5 colors, but I just wanted these 4. I don't really like doing corrugated ribbing compared to stranded color work, so yeah. Okay, so once again, a reminder. Oh, there's the backside. I'm watching Claire Saffitz make Sour Patch Kids. And I'm also this is useful because now I can show you, this is how I work Fair Isle. I have my video, whatever my content that I'm watching, or sometimes it's just a random screen that's not full of content, and I do this one row at a time, so then I can see the row below, just one row below ideally, so I don't get distracted, and then I just scroll up as I go. There we go. So that's how I do a lot of this Fair Isle knitting. I also do use markers when I have a big repeat like this. The first time I knit to Crofters Cap, I didn't use markers, and I made some errors because the chart's quite big, and I made errors on the Peary, which is here. This is my first Crofters Cap. I've got it with me right there. So I used mostly I generally use the main colors, although the three, like the orange, that's burnt umber, that's paprika, and that's sunset of Jamieson's of Shetland Spindrift. The other colors are correct. They're the Shetland Black Jumper Weight Supreme number 2005. This guy here is, I think it's FC 40 something. I can't remember. If you can watch my video on hats, I think it's episode 18. And then this guy's FC 82 mix, this dark teal. I love this hat, but I did screw up the Pearies, I think on the top somewhere. I don't know where. They're not lined up. And I think I might have even screwed up the middle chart. And it's because I didn't use markers. So word to the wise, use a marker. Or use markers in between these big 24 stitch repeats. Here's another one that I made, and I brought this one to talk about color blending. So here I've got oh, that's the jog. You don't want to see the jog. So yeah, I've got the red, the orange, and I think this is the same. It's cardinal is the red, paprika, and then burnt umber. Those are all Jamieson's of Shetland Spindrift, and then this is like FC 29 or something from Jamieson and Smith. Again, it's in the hat video. The background color here is the same. I think it's the same as this. It's Jamieson and Smith Jumper Weight Supreme in 2008. I think that's the same. I like to use an oatmeal base, especially if I'm using heathered colors, because it just makes things come out like a little, I don't know, a little softer. You can use a bright white. Maybe I'll make one with a bright white base, but again, this is like a heathered brown. I also almost always do a light background with dark colors. Oh, and I didn't do corrugated rib here, and I completely changed all the charts, including the star. This star is from the pattern Oliver's Hat from Jamieson and Smith, A Shetland Story, which is a book you can purchase. It's been on my channel before. Anyway. So yeah, I like to use a light background. I find that this one works really well, but I really followed basically the same color scheme that Wilma had used for her original Jamieson and Smith colorway here. And I like the Jamieson's of Shetland one too. I think it's a nice, it's blues, and it's a dark background. But generally I don't think they look as good when I do them. So, and I find that they look really harsh if people use like a black. So I just prefer to use like an oatmeal or a light gray. Sometimes a white. Okay, so I'm going to talk about how I could do substitutions here. So this purple is much lighter than the other three colors. So you see the blue and the green and the red. The red is a pop, but and then the brown. This is the brown. There it is. So that's going to be used in the main chart. And you can see I'm just finished the first round of the main chart, and so there's the blue. So I've decided this is what I'm going to do in terms of the main band. So there's the blue, there's the green, and there's the brown, which all kind of blend pretty well. And as you can see, I like to do a blend with a pop here. And here it's also a blend with this kind of, the pop is interesting here because you're using a background color as well to facilitate that. But then you're using this, which is, this green is a completely different color scheme from the other three, but it does kind of have the same tone almost, like it, or yeah, it kind of blends. It's interesting. So then I've got this guy here. And then, so I decided to use this purple for the Pearies because it doesn't, like it could go next to the blue here if I was going to use all of them, but I think that would have been too much. And I don't really want to have a different background color at all here. I think I'm going to keep the background color the same, even though in the original, you're changing it for these rounds here. So if you wanted to do something like this is a little less of a, it's more, I don't know, it's different. It's not as seamless of a blend. So if you were going to do a blend, here's some options. You could do FC 56. This is less red violet and more kind of blue violet because it's got these green flecks. This is 56 mix. So I'm swapping. I don't even think I said this last time. This is 123 mix. Anyway, You could also, if you wanted a more red violet, you could use this guy, which is FC55 mix. Ooh, 55 and 56. So that's fun too. And you kind of have the reddish, you know, there together. So that's an option. Also, this brown is not heathered. I have an option here. If you want it heathered, this is Jamieson's of Shetland Spindrift. It is brown, but it's actually quite a good blend with this green. Its name is birch. So you could do that. I'm not going to do that. I like the kind of the stark chocolate brown. But yeah, there you can, that really blends well. That would be nice. But yeah, I think, and then this red is not heathered, which is one of the reasons that I'm using this one, is that's just, I think the red would stand out too much. But yeah, there we go. So those are my color choices. And I wanted to show you this before I actually do it, because I might edit, but I like to, yeah, I was supposed to use it in Maya's, but I didn't. I ended up swapping that because it wasn't a good contrast, which is why I still have a whole ball. Yeah, I like to try and plan it out first, if possible, because and then edit as I go. But I do like to plan the blends and to kind of edit if I have to, and I, you know, acknowledge that it didn't work out. But yeah, I think that's how it's gonna go. Let's see what happens. Yeah, okay. I will see you next time. Okay, so here's part 3. I've been working on this big Vera band, the main one with 4 colors. After my last little vlog, I actually did decide to switch the browns. So I had planned on using this darker brown, which does not have any heathering, and I swapped it for this other one, which I said, you know, you could do that, and then I realized, you know, this is better. It really does fit well with the green because of all this green heathering in this brown. And there's some little bit of red heathering too, which really makes it go with this kind of cayenne orange here. And yeah, I think this is a good palette. Once again, I like this light purple because it's not part of this bigger motif. If I had been wanting the purple to be part of that motif, I think I would have used this dark one because there's green heathering in it. This is 56 mix because it would have gone nicely with that green. But yeah, I think this actually looks pretty good. It's kind of like autumny, you know, you've got darker skies in autumn, you've got the kind of green and brown, and then the bright red of the leaves, and then there's, you know, the last kind of flowers of summer are in this purple. And it's, you know, towards the end of the September right now, so it's kind of, you know, it's kind of seasonal. It's a seasonal hat. I will say using these markers really helped me not screw up. And I also really am admiring the difference between how this motif looks light, you know, dark on light versus light on dark. It's so different. That motif really works both in both instances. Oh, here you can see where I screwed up. So the thing here that I didn't like is that this motif actually does line up with this one. So you'll see here, the middle, it's in the middle, they line up together. Like these little points are mirrored in these little points. This is a 8 stitch repeat, and this is 24. So 8 of these go into one of these. Whereas here, when I screwed it up, they were all off. So you can see that's off from there, etc. The top one is good, but the bottom one's not great. Okay, so next I'm going to talk a little bit about the crown. One of the things I love about this one is the way that Wilma has decided to use that teal green here as the background when she changes it. It just gives it this depth that, and even in the crown, look at how beautiful that is. So in this one, I'm not going to use anything different in the background. That's just amazing. I mean, look at that. The way that the teal goes, kind of fits in without distracting from the pattern at all, but like adding to the color, you know, play. And it goes with this green, and it really complements the kind of orange and reddish and pinks. It's just like, that's the kind of thing that you can really learn from a real person from Shetland who's been doing this their whole life and who really knows color play. Oh, there's Hobbs. Hobbs is walking around. He just got a bath. Anyway, so I was thinking, okay, how am I gonna put the colors in? Because okay, so again, this is a free pattern, so this is what the charts look like. I would not show you this in a paid pattern, but so you've got 23 rounds in this crown, and so I'm gonna just pull up on my laptop the little sticky that I have. I have a bunch of notes for knitting in here. But so there we go. There's all 23 rounds, and I started at the outside. I wanted to do purple, then blue, green, brown, red, and then back out to purple. So it's going to be symmetrical, whereas this one is not. It has the orange color at the beginning and end, but otherwise it just goes through. So for this one, I'm going to do symmetrical rounds just like this. So it's going to be, I'm going to have purple as my second piri up here, and then I'm going to start the crown with purple as well. And then it's going to go, so it's going to go purple, blue, green, brown, reddish orange, and then back brown, green, blue, purple for the 23 rounds of the hat crown. So there you go. You can see how I filled it in. So it's 3 purple, 3 blue, 2 green, 2 brown, 3 red, 2 brown, 2 green, 3 blue, 3 purple. And I'm doing a little bit bigger of a red section in the crown because I haven't really used it a lot, and I think it's fun as the pop here. I think it really works well just going right through the middle. Again, here you just have it going right through the middle. There it is. It's mirrored here in this piri, but I still think it's nice. Yeah, anyway. So that's that. That's my recent progress on this. The motif is done. It looks great. Really different from, I love the oxo. It's just so different from this light on dark. I think the O is really creative. It's not like it's not a full outline, but it's totally the round shape you need. And then this X is really cool with all the with the, it's big in the middle. It doesn't go all the way in. It doesn't pull all the way in like the little V that some X's get. So I just think it's such a cool pattern. Anyway, okay, I'll be back with some updates on how the crown of the hat goes. Bye. All right, welcome back to the next, I think this is the 4th installment. So this is the last one before I show you the final hat. So I'm working the crown. I'm also watching the crown. I thought it was, fitting. I love the crown. I love the crown, but that's because I love Olivia Colman. If you know me in person, you probably know that about me. I love Olivia Colman. She's the pinnacle of human excellence. I have some Earl Grey. This is in a viola mug, or violin mug if you are less cultured. My brother and I both play viola. He's a lot better than I am. I kind of picked it up as like a, I don't know, I'm a musicologist. I thought I should know how to play string instrument. I had played violin when I was younger. Not very well, because I was mostly a keyboard player, but I picked up viola near the end of high school, and I played it for a few years. My brother is very good. He was like in 6th grade or 5th grade when I was learning, and so he thought that I was really cool at that point because I was like cool and going to college, and he was like, I want to play that too, so he plays viola too, and he's way better. He was like in the Vermont Youth Orchestra, whereas that's not my main instrument, but I like it. His teacher, but she was my teacher before that, gave him these mugs when he graduated from high school, she gave him a set. They're very cute. So I'm working on the crown. I'm watching the crown. The crown pattern for this hat and for all of Wilma's amazing designs is, as you can see, there's the chart. It has these central double decreases in there. So to make those, that creates this basically the center of each point of the star, which is a very cool effect. You can see there's these like separate, kind of triangle pie piece sort of looking things here in between each point, and then you get the points of the star all around the hat. So first you decrease in the first round of the crown. So the crown, I guess you could kind of figure out the decreases so that they would match up with each, like with the centers of these little things, but they don't naturally do that because of just the decreases are just even. And so you're going from 7 repeats, I think it's 7 to 6 repeats. So there's one fewer repeat in the crown pattern because you're decreasing this pattern is a multiple of 24 stitches, and the crown pattern is also a multiple of 24 stitches, but you're going down one, so you're decreasing 24 stitches in the first round of the crown pattern, if that makes any sense. And the crown pattern is actually quite deep. I find that when I finish kind of the body of one of these hats, I'm like, I don't know if that's going to be big enough. And then I'll get to this is like 17 rounds or something. The crown is actually 23 rounds. It's deeper than this pattern is. It's almost twice the depth of the main body pattern. So it is gonna, fit. I tried it on. It's kind of snug. To make it longer, I mean, Wilma sort of says that in her pattern, like, she's got small, medium, and large, and you just adjust the gauge based on how big you want it. Like, you adjust your needle size, which is smart. If I wanted to make it longer, I would just do a longer brim. Like, you can just do a regular ribbed brim. You can just do like double the length of corrugated rib. That would all look good. It doesn't really matter. So I've got, again, I'm actually trying to do something. Let's focus on that. Something symmetrical for the crown, which I don't usually do. I'm going to do purple, blue, green, brown, red, and then go back. So I've just finished the red section. It's not very much red in this hat, but it's enough of a pop. Again, I mentioned that because I switched browns to the heathered brown, the red is the only one that's not heathered, so the pop is even more pronounced here. So I've done 3 rounds of purple, here we go, 3 rounds of blue, 2 rounds of green, 2 rounds of brown, and then 3 rounds of red, and then I'm going to go back in the same order. So 2 brown, 2 green, 3 blue, 3 purple. So on my screen I've got this sticky here. Oh, can you focus? There it is. So, oops, I gotta change it so that I make a space after I finish every color so that I know where I am. Yeah. Oh, season 4, episode 2. That's a good episode. It's where it's the one where they shoot the deer, and like Charles brings Diana to Balmoral for the first time, and Margaret Thatcher does a really bad job at Balmoral, and Diana does a really good job. I like season 4. I like season 3. I think season 3 is the best season in terms of the content you get, but I think that the Charles and Diana story in season 4 is extremely compelling. So I like it. And yep, there's my crown pattern. I'm scrolling up. Here we go. Yeah, so I'm around, let's see, I'm on round 14, so that would be there. That's where I am now. I've recently switched to Magic Loop from 16-inch circular. That can be a bit awkward if you do it a little too soon, or generally if you're used to working with Magic Loop in smaller circumferences. This totally works. I have 3 repeats on each side. It's symmetrical. It works great. But I do go as far as I can on that 16-inch needle till it's really pulling, and you really need to switch, because I don't like the awkwardness of having too many stitches on a Magic Loop. Shetlanders get around this because they use their double pointed needles for everything, and a knitting belt. I don't use those. I think it's very cool, but I would totally try it. It's just that I find DPNs or pins or wires or whatever you call them, I find them too difficult with color work. They just get tangled, and the strands get tangled around them, and it's just a drag. And I have a lot of issues with how to do the floats around where you switch from needle to needle. So even with Magic Loop, you get 2 of those, 1 on each half, and I always have to make sure I catch the float in the middle, or it pulls too much or too little and it's too loose. And yeah, there's the inside. I'll show you the inside. I don't weave in the ends until I'm done. I weave in the ends, but I don't trim them. And then I block, and then I trim the ends. You don't even have to weave in the ends as a Shetland wool. You can just tie them together if you want. I'm kind of a stickler, to each their own. It looks really nice, as long as you're really careful with how you do your floats. Like, as long as you have, your main color on the left and or closer to the fabric so that it pops out more, and your background color on your right. It always looks really even on the inside too, which is kind of cool. There's a long float in there. This is the only long float. This is 7 stitches long, and it's in the very middle of it's the orange row. Oh, I hate when that needle clacks against the aluminum on my laptop. Anyway, that one, that's 7. You could catch that if you wanted to. I don't really bother, but you could. Okay, so next time you see me, this should be done. All right. Thanks for watching. All right. This is my last vlog for the Decrofters Cap for Shetland Wool Week 2021. So it's done. And it's on a styrofoam head. My brother's girlfriend's parents gave me this head. I don't know where they got it, but I think it's really funny. Also, it doesn't have a nose, so I call it Voldemort. Yeah, Voldemort models all my hats. So this is a recent acquisition. I have not had this for long. I usually just lay them flat to dry. This makes them dry faster. Also, you don't want to use something for blocking that's going to absorb water, like anything like a towel or cloth or anything, and styrofoam doesn't absorb water. So this is actually good. Okay, so it's all done. There's the crown, all finished. Very exciting. So you can see corrugated rib. Let's zoom in a little bit. Corrugated rib. We got this first band of color in the purple. We've got the main motif. One more band of purple, and then I started the crown. So I understand now kind of why they don't usually, Wilma Malcolmson does not start the crown in the same color as that Peary, because it gets a little bit lost, but I don't mind. I think it's cute. So I did do a symmetrical crown here. I could have done it where I still did it symmetrical. I just organized the colors in a different order, which would have been fine too. This is fine. I'm not really fussed about this. I like it. I think it, you know, the colors work. I'm really glad that they work because this is one of the ones that I just used a color wheel to create the palette. And then I added this brown. I'm glad I made the decision to change the brown because I think the softer look in this heathered brown, again, it goes really well with the green. You can see that blends really, the blue to green to brown is pretty nice. And then you get this really nice bright red. Yeah. So it's pretty much dry. When did I wash it? 2 days ago? Yesterday. I finished it yesterday. Voldemort, you can hang out here. Sorry. This is where my mom usually sits and knits. This is her knitting chair. She has lots of pictures. That's my family. That's me. That was when I was in my big hood for my undergrad graduation from the University of Toronto. We didn't wear graduation caps. We wore real rabbit fur hoods. It was very fancy. Anyway, I'll put this on. The tripod's not great. Okay, it's pretty small. It's very snug. It does, like, I pulled it down a little bit when it was wet though, so it would kind of cover my ears. And again, I really like to wear little hats like this. I find it, I know, they're fine. You can make this a little longer if you want by doing a couple things. Number one, you can knit a longer brim. Number two, you can knit more rounds in between these pattern sections. And I think I did that on my first Decrofters Cap because it was a little too small. Or I looked at it and I thought that's not enough rounds. I'm gonna lengthen it. And if you just put, you know, one extra round of plain in between each of these, you get 1, 2, 3, 4 extra rounds just in that. You could lengthen this by a couple of rounds. If you added 2 extra rounds in between the periods, you'd get like another good, maybe almost an inch of extra material just from that. You will use a little more yarn, obviously. Always good to keep that in mind, especially if you're working with really small balls where you don't really know if you're gonna have enough and you might play yarn chicken. Yeah, I actually had a really tiny ball of this green, the FC12, and I ended up using basically exactly all of it. I had a larger one as well, but I was like, oh, I have this little one, I should use that first. Always use your little ones first because that makes sense. Then you won't have 2 small balls lying around. You'll just have one. And it was like exactly the right amount. I should have weighed it. I should always weigh these. I never do. I just kind of assume they'll take like, I don't know, 5 grams each. I mean, I did weigh the whole hat, and then I weighed the Supreme jumper weight, the like light gray, to see how much I used, was just under 25 grams. So you could get away with just one, but you might want to get two, or sorry, those are Supreme jumper weight. Those come in 50-gram balls anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but you might be able to get away with one single ball of 2-ply jumper weight if you're going to use that as your background. But I don't know, you might want to be safe. I have not trimmed my ends. Again, I wove in my ends, but I did not trim them because I do that after I block so that the ends can settle where they want to settle before I snip. Yeah, I think that's it. So I've enjoyed making this. My mom's probably gonna steal this hat. That's fine. I gave her my Katie's cup that I made. I've only made one real Katie's cup from the pattern. I made it in Knit Picks palette. I used a US 3. It was too big. I could have blocked it to be like a tam, but I didn't. I think my mom just wears it as a very slouchy beanie. But yeah, anyway, yeah, that's the only time I ever knit Katie's Cup with the pattern. I edited Katie's Cup. If you go to my Ravelry page, if you're watching this on YouTube as like a collection of the vlogs, I'll link it in the show notes. If not, you can go to my Ravelry page. My Ravelry username is ebarnaby93. And then it's on there like Katie's Cup variation, and it's white with blue. And I made charts just to go as the body of Katie's Cup, and then I used the crown of Katie's Cup. And I put the charts just on the Ravelry page. I made them myself, and you can use them if you want, or you can look at them. I would show you the cap, but it's in Washington, D.C., I think, in storage with all my rest of my winter stuff. I think this kind of goes with the Porty. It doesn't really, but I'm going to pretend that they go. It's all Shetland wool, knitting. It's fine. Yeah, it kind of works. None of the colors are the same at all. The blue is almost the same, but this one's Jamieson and Smith jumper weight, and then this one is Jamieson's of Shetland, and the colorway is called Atlantic. Yeah, the brown's not, the like beige isn't even the same. This is 2006, and this one's 2008. So anyway, I think that's it. So hope you enjoyed this. I'm about to film another video on a pair of little fingerless mitts that I'm making. So that's gonna be my next vlog. I like this. I like it. I like that little, like, it's kind of informal. It's short. I can do it on the fly. It's fun. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching all my vlogs. And this has been Tiny Desk Knitting Vlogs. Bye.